How's it going? It's Scary Jones from Elvis Duran on the Morning Show, and welcome to another edition of CEO Unplugged. Sitting down right now with a man who is much more well-dressed than I, although he's trying to dress me up for the occasion. We'll get to that in a second.
You look great.
Thank you. It's Mark Abbott. He's the president and deputy commissioner of Major League Soccer. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for bringing excitement, even more excitement, to this area specifically. If I know it's all of Major League Soccer, which you deal with, but me being a resident of Jersey City and living so close to Harrison, New Jersey, and sporting and rooting for my hometown Red Bulls, you've made it such an amazing place and an amazing experience for everybody, and I want to thank you before we even get started for bringing excitement to this area.
Well, as you might imagine, a lot of people who have been involved in that, but Red Bull Arena and going there is an incredible experience, and I think when there's not a person I haven't been brought out to the arena who hasn't said this is incredible and wants to come again. And a few years ago, we said really what we'd like to see happen is build a rivalry in this city like you see around cities around the world. And so a second team came, NYCFC, and the rivalry that built between these two teams in just a very short period of time is incredible. And it's what's fueling interest for both of them, actually.
It's reminiscent of the old school days of baseball when you had three teams going with the Dodgers and the Yankees and the Giants, and now it's coming back and it's here now. But you're also, I would imagine, this type of excitement is going on at arenas and stadiums all around the country in Canada, correct?
Yeah, so we this year we have 24 teams. So we have 21 in the United States, 3 in Canada. We'll maybe talk a little bit later about some of our growth plans after.
Yeah.
But I think what distinguishes our league are really two things. The incredible fan environments that we see in these stadiums. And people talk a lot about it's a professional sports with the passion of college sports. And these supporter groups, they come, you've probably seen them, they hold up their scarves, their chants that they do.
Oh, yeah.
They have these big signs called TIFO at the beginning. It really is a part of their life to be a part of the team. And that's what makes our stadium so vibrant and so
Sure. What is it about a soccer fan? I'm just going to leave it right there, and I'll let you fill in the blank.
The team is part of their life. It's part of their identity. They love the team. And to come every other week and really be a part of it, and to celebrate the team and to really be part of it. When you watch what's going on, they're engaged in the game, whether it's the songs, the chants, cheers, the movement. They're part of the game, and that's what's special.
And the game, with very, very few breaks in the action, is probably the liveliest sport that, if you think about all the major sports that are out there, and by the way, it's the number one sport in the world. So, and it's gained popularity, and it's, due to what's going on here in the culture of how this has evolved, it's gaining traction even more than ever. And I think it's going to surpass some of these other sports, right?
Look, there are already 70 million professional soccer fans in the United States and Canada. That's a big number.
That's tremendous.
And when you take a look at our big games, the number of people who watch them, or big international games, it's a large market here. And we've helped build that market, and we're also benefiting from that market. And
sure.
It's really, I think it's such a virtuous circle that as we continue to make investments and grow the league becomes more popular, and we're able to make more investments and continue to do that.
An idea whose time has come. I mean, there's no force greater in the world than that kind of that gravitation, that revolution of moving toward that. But I want to take it back to the beginning for a little bit, because you practiced corporate finance and commercial law. So how did you become the first employee of Major League Soccer? Is that a fact, by the way?
It is a fact. So I worked for a law firm in Los Angeles, and one of the senior partners in that law firm ran the World Cup in the United States in 1994. And the reason that FIFA had awarded the World Cup to the U.S. is they wanted to use it as a launching pad for a professional league. There was no professional league at that time, and they said, what can we do to start professional soccer? Let's bring the World Cup here. Let's use the excitement of the World Cup to launch a professional league. And so I was a young lawyer, and the partner at the firm, Alan Rothenberg, I heard he was looking for somebody to help him write the business plan for this league. And so I ran into his office, and I volunteered, and that was almost 26 years ago.
How about that? Wow. And now you started with that role, and now you have this role today that you've grown into. What has your experience taught you along the way? And could you tell us about any significant key moments that affected the trajectory of the league?
There have been many along the way. Clearly when David Beckham came to the league in 2007, that was a big moment.
That was a game changer.
That was a big moment for us for a lot of different reasons. One is he's an incredible athlete, and he did a lot to help his team win championships, why he came here.
A true star.
Yeah, true star and a hard-working athlete. He brought a lot of notice to the league, and I think he paved the way for other great players to say, that's a place that I want to go. So when Beckham joined the league, that was a big, big moment. The second is, we've talked a little bit about this, this strategy of having these purpose-built soccer-specific stadiums, about 20 to 30,000 seats, the right size, the right intimate atmosphere, a place where the fans know it's a major league environment.
You can't just have a soccer team play in just a retrofit it into an existing stadium, or can you?
We've done it in a couple of places, in Atlanta where we're very successful.
It has to be the right fit, though.
Yeah, you have to. There we get 50,000 people a game, and they did build some things into that stadium, even though it's for NFL also, to make it work for soccer. But our primary strategy is to have these 20 to 30,000 seat stadiums.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar Hunt, the founder of the American Football League, one of the founders of our league, he built the first one of these in 1999 in Columbus, and we have almost 20 of them now.
So that was one of the goals in your initial creation of this?
It was, yeah.
Right, okay, cool. And how long has this taken? So you said 99?
So the league started in 1996, so next year is our 25th season.
Oh, congratulations.
The first soccer stadium opened in May of 1999,
Mm-hmm.
so that's about almost 20 years ago, 20 years ago in the middle of May.
Yeah. You mentioned David Beckham. I'm sure some other notable players. As there's been team expansion and competition increases, player relations has to probably factor into a lot of this, and it's got to be a huge undertaking for you guys. What else are you responsible for in what you do, and what's the most exciting part of your job?
There's a lot of things I get involved with. One of them is our expansion process, the decision by which we choose markets and how big we want.
So where you're going in the future. So you're at 24 teams right now.
24 now. We've already said that we just last week announced that we're going to go to 30 teams.
Wow.
We know where 3 of the next teams are coming from. One's going to be in Miami, launching next year, and David Beckham's one of the owners of that.
That's exciting.
A team that's going to launch in Nashville.
Wow, which is another growing city.
Dynamic.
I got to see it a couple of years ago. I couldn't believe what they did with the place.
It's so perfect. It's our perfect fan base.
Yeah.
Young, vibrant, very diverse. We're going to do great there. And then Austin, Texas, another market that just really fits our fan base. And then we're going to decide what the next 3 after that are.
And that's so there's a lot of pressure here.
Well, we hope we get it right.
I think you will.
Unfortunately, there are a lot of people involved, but no, it's a big decision for any league.
Right.
How big do you want to be? What markets do you go to? Who your ownership groups are? Those are all things I spend a lot of time working on.
Right. Now, here in New Jersey, sports betting recently became legal, and so now that's a huge initiative. I heard that MLS is forming a sports betting partnership with
MGM.
MGM.
Yeah.
Could you tell me what that means for the future?
Sure. It's a great partnership. First of all, we think that sports betting is going to be a game changer, not only for our league but for all of professional sports. So much research shows, and it's obvious. If you're engaged in betting on a sporting event, you're going to watch that sporting event.
You're going to pay much more attention.
So it's going to grow the fan base for every sport, including.
There's this thing called fantasy football, which I don't know you might have heard of.
Exactly.
Which kind of my eyes are glued on all of my players.
It's a big part of it, and sports betting's just going to amplify that.
1,000%. That's exciting.
Yeah, and we have a great commercial partnership with MGM to help promote what they're doing. And we also have some technical things we do with them. We want to make sure they have the right data so that the people who are making those bets have the best data available. So it's I think it's going to be a really impactful partnership, but I think the entire space of sports betting is going to transform professional sports.
That's fantastic. Now, with the MLS having a cultural diverse fan base and a huge fan base for teens and millennials, where do you guys see your growth? First of all, where do you see your growth, and how do you guys make sure you account for and are inclusive of all people?
Right. So
it's kind of like a twofold question
yeah,
there.
it's so infused throughout the league. It starts with our players. We have players from 72 countries.
Oh, wow.
So the most diverse league.
So you're rooting for your, like, someone who was born in your city,
yeah, or
like,
it could just be a great soccer.
or your country.
But it's diverse. Our fan base is usually the most diverse in professional sports.
Yeah.
And the staff at our league office and our club offices. So throughout our organization, commitment to diversity couldn't be stronger. And we formalize that. We have a big program called Soccer for All, which is really about how we welcome everybody. Discrimination in any form is not acceptable. And what's so exciting and really heartwarming is our players have embraced that. So they're involved in these commercials. They're involved in this outreach. So it's a core value of our league and throughout everything that we do. And everybody's committed to it.
You already shared the fact that you're expanding into a few cities. You mentioned Austin and Nashville, and you have a couple of other, and some that are unannounced on the way. Any other big announcements regarding Major League Soccer that you want to get off your chest and share with our CEO Unplugged fans? So, a little nugget of other.
I think the big announcements this summer are likely to be what are the next markets going to be, and then I think looking to the future, and it's a couple of years away yet. Media is changing so much, and our media contracts are all coming up for renewal. And how do we navigate this world of new media? And I think that's the most exciting opportunity in front of the entire industry and us in particular.
Oh, 100%. And I just want to say, from someone who grew up in Brooklyn, who just used to, when I was a kid, watching the traditional sports of, football and baseball and NBA and NHL, it's great to see as I've grown older how Major League Soccer is on the rise and is really next level. And I think that they owe it to you as to be part of this for the past, you said 1996, and growing this into what could overtake, do we dare say that here? Who knows? This is going to live online forever. So someone might be watching this in the future and being like, what's he talking about? The number one sport in the United States is soccer, but with 70 million fans, they can't be wrong.
Yeah. It's got so much that's happening now and so much potential to come.
My eyes were opened, and it was exhilarating to go to my first Red Bulls game. And if I'm talking right to the people now, if you've never been to a Major League Soccer game, wherever you are in the country, go out and watch, go see one, see what it's all about. It is exhilarating on a whole other level that you can't even imagine. And the tickets are super affordable too.
It's priced for young people to be able to come. And when you talk about we talked a little bit about the stadium atmosphere. What's really so great is each team has its own ritual that it adopts. So, for example, in Portland, when the home team scores, there's a lumberjack who fires up a chainsaw and he cuts a piece of wood off a lawn and gives it to the guy who scored a goal. That's not happening anymore. Right? So, and those weren't manufactured by us. That's what the fans did. They came up with it on their own, and it's just such a special environment.
Are vuvuzela horns welcome?
Depends how they're used, and I think that fad has.
It's over.
I think it's over. I think we've moved on.
We're past it. I still have mine from the World Cup from
me too. 2010 was all the rage, but I think people are onto their iPhones.
Right, exactly. All good. Well, thank you so much for spending time. Is there a website someone could go to learn more?
It's easy. MLSsoccer.com.
MLSsoccer.com. Wow, you don't even have to spell to know that. That's easy. So nice to meet you, man. It's Mark Abbott, President, Deputy Commissioner, Major League Soccer. It's been a pleasure. And I'm going to show this to the people.
There you go.
Look at that. They got the Scary Jones jersey going. I want to thank you so much for coming in.
It's my pleasure. I really enjoyed it.
I did too. Thanks for being part of CEO Unplugged. We'll see you next time.